Okay. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight, what we have is election night. Gary, how are you doing, sir? Just
I'm
go
all
straight.
right, I am. I'm okay, my brother. I'm okay. It's great to be a part of the Sylbourne TV show.
Yes, yes. We have to go straight at it because, election is here. Everybody's got to move fast. We can't go too slow. Just go straight at it. Bam, bam,
Yes,
bam. You know, life is there's the fervent urgency of now. That's what Martin Luther King. Urgency of now. You know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. Those on Instagram, hi, how are you? Those on YouTube and those on Facebook, I want to thank you so much for joining us on another week. Gary, are you having a she sound or am I having a she sound? Let me hear something. Ah, yeah, you got a she sound. It's not like you got some 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 like some falling at the background there.
no,
Oh no, no, it sound like you're at the beach. No, it sound like you're at the beach. You actually sound like you're at the beach.
no, I don't have anything around it. There's nothing on. There's absolutely no other gadget on.
Yes, it sound like you're at the beach or something like that. You know what I mean? But
I'm I'm in West Yorkshire, man. I'm between the mountains.
you know, well, ladies and gentlemen, well, listen, I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight. And as usual, each week there's always new developments happening in the UK, new developments happening around the world. For today, for those who don't know, in the United Kingdom, there's local government elections. And as a result of that local government election, people are going to the polls. And it's a local government election, which is different from a national election. But sometimes people vote in these elections as if they're voting on a national level. And right now, you got the whole issue regarding the party gate, skirt gate, Brexit gate, Putin gate, all of these different gates. And people are saying, let's send a message to Boris. Gary, I don't know if you voted yet or you not voted or you have time to vote.
Sadly, I haven't been able to because um, where I would vote would be in the West Midlands in Birmingham, the Perry constituency, but I'm not there. I'm in West Yorkshire, so I haven't been able to vote, and I haven't had the postal votes either, so I'm out of it.
Okay, okay. Well, it's a pity you didn't do the postal vote because that's what I always do each time. So I'm not caught out if anything like that.
All
Um,
right. Yeah.
but what do you think this election, or ladies and gentlemen, what do you think this election is going to send? What's your prediction? Is there any prediction to this election here?
You want my honest opinion on this thing?
Yes, yes.
We need to send a very strong signal to government.
We?
We
Who is the we?
no, no, I don't expect you to stand with me on this.
Why? I can sit with you on it.
I don't expect you to stand with me on this. No, but I think a very strong signal needs to be sent to Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
to shape up or to ship out, and I think he needs to be able to rein in his MPs. But the thing about it, how can he rein in his MPs when he himself break the law and then does what he wants to do, probably even tell a few lies here and there, but yet he can't tell his MPs to resign. He can't tell them. He can't. What example is he setting if he himself is breaking them? So I think that the country. Now, I'm not saying that the Labour Party is any better, and I'm not saying that or strong,
Mm.
because I think the Labour Party is weak at this moment in time. Again, I don't know much about Keir Starmer because Keir Starmer may be a very good man. He may be a very good leader, But you see, sometimes the 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 strength of a leader is by those also whom he surrounds himself or herself with. And I don't know if the Labour Party has strong leadership at this moment in time. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, there's one and two name. There's one name that I hear that may be coming in, which is or he was in government like Ed Balls.
Ed Ball is now into dancing and into stuff like that. He was in the Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah. Well, I heard he was planning to come back into politics.
Mm,
I don't know, but I
mm.
believe he could be one container or one contender.
Yes,
Another contender, he hasn't shared his hand as yet at all. He hasn't said anything. So I'm not saying that he has said anything at all. But one person I would very much sit up and listen to if he did show his hand, and that is David Miliband. He is in the United States, yes, heading up the international
charity.
charity, yes.
Mm.
He Now that is where the Labour Party made a wrong choice.
I went for his brother.
Went for his brother, who really didn't have any any political leadership statue at all. And I don't know how they could have really chosen his brother. I don't know. I couldn't see it. They
But
missed the turn in there, my brother.
but aren't we missing out on something at the same time by encouraging or thinking that people will vote in this election to send a message to Boris Johnson when really and truly this election is about local government, the potholes in your area, how the council tax is being used, how the bins are taken up, the LTN like in London, and all those sort of things there. Isn't it misguided sometimes when people are voting in these elections to send a message nationally?
It could be, but no, because at the same time, they are. If I think we've got to remember that this can give a picture of where the minds of the people are.
Yes.
If they are with the government, then even in the Labour constituencies
Mm.
within the local government now,
Yeah.
even in the Labour, then the Conservatives may have to really fight hard if the Labour Party is being strong, or if for instance, the Conservative Party to me right now is not in a position of strength. It's
Mm.
not in a position of strength. So therefore, what the Conservative Party should be doing, and I don't think they're doing, is I don't see any indication of it. Probably you may see it or you may hear of it, Sylbourne. But
Yes.
let me say that within right now, I'm not seeing any indication that they are working hard enough to capture the minds of the country. What Boris is saying is that he is trying to whip up, because I think he's made statements that okay, well, they are tackling the economy and they're doing this and he's doing that and he's going places and all
Yeah.
of that. That don't mean anything because he's done enough damage. I don't think the Conservative Party they're relying too much on what he's doing in regards to Ukraine.
Right. So you think that he's using it as a distraction
I
away
think
from
yes,
some of the
yes,
fundamental issues.
yes.
I mean, interest rate has gone up, which we'll touch on a bit later. But the point I keep coming back to, and if persons can even think about that as well, is the fact that while we're having that discussion now, nothing has been said about the local issues, the council tax, the bins, and all those things, because um, for this particular election, they're saying there are 4,360 seats on 146 councils up for grabs, as well as a handful of mayoral elections. More than 1,800 of these seats are in London, where every seat in every borough will be contested. In Lewisham here, where I live, every single councillor is a Labour councillor, and even Labour councillors are actually saying that there's a lack of accountability and transparency. But if people actually go to the votes, go to the polls, and just vote the same way again for Labour, um, and you're talking about accountability and transparency, one is missing out on the issue trying to send a message nationally, because nationally at the same time, it there's always this sort of disjointed bit whereby the national government and having different local government, different parties sometimes don't work properly together. But I see where you're coming from at the same time that people sometimes want to send a message. But
You
what
see,
about the local things? Yeah.
you see that, and but it's just swings and roundabouts really, because the Labour Party needs to be careful. They need to be very careful because we, the black vote, we have always given. They've always got the black vote even before we even think about it, and they know it, right?
Yes.
But when they get into power, right, they do nothing for the for the black community.
They do.
Absolutely nothing. I'm not saying that the Conservative Party does anything, but
Mm.
what I'm saying is that the Labour Party, they always seem to always get the black vote even before we ever think. You know, they don't have to campaign with us that difficult or that hard because they've got us already. And I think that we, the black vote, we need to be more. We need to
More
think
smart.
before you do something, man. Think before you do something,
Mm.
because they have it too easy with us. I want the black vote, right? To get a piece of paper and to write the 10 things that over the past 50 years that the Labour Party has done for us,
Mm.
in helping us and in supplying the black community. I really would like for the black community, the black vote, right, to list 10 things that the Labour Party has been consistent in doing for us.
Mm.
The I think it's terrible. It's terrible on our part. Now you, Silborn, I'm sure you would agree with me when I say to you that the West Indians, and particularly because we're from Jamaica, right? We
Yeah.
are and we are conservative in thought and in nature. We are.
That's true. That's true.
We are. I don't care whether you are of a JLP in Jamaica or PNP, right?
Mm.
And that's why. And if you take a study of it, which of course I think you have, Silborn,
Mm.
if you go to the black community, they will tell you, no, man, no, 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 I'm not conservative. No, I'm not this, I'm not that. But they're not thinking. They're not thinking because if they thought about it, Silborn,
Mm.
they will then find out to their surprise that they are conservative in nature,
Mm. So
right?
they're conservative thinkers, but the alliance of the conservative in the UK, with the racial element, as to say that is a bit which they struggle with the
Yes,
history. But the history is still, I would believe, so, is a combination of even both Labour and Conservative at the same time, because everything is coming from this racial element, this colonial aspect, this slavery aspect,
right,
right? But there's an MP called Steve Hill. He was the MP for Streatham. Chuka Uma was the one who took over from him. Don't know where Chuka Uma is. He was a potential leader for the Labour Party. Uh, Steve Hill said to me one time that actually Jamaicans, sometime when they came over, they thought the Labour Party was the same as the Labour Party in Jamaica.
no,
But the Labour Party in Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen, for your information, is more aligned to the Conservative Party.
correct,
You know, I'm of the Conservative Party leaning, and I've been at conferences where I've seen Andrew Holness, I've seen a few times. in Birmingham, there, Gary, where I stayed by your place at the time. So therefore, that is something which is misguided. But there's an issue which another gentleman who came on the show with the other day. Remember Adam from Birmingham, and Adam is standing in somewhere in Birmingham, and Adam was saying that a lot of people are so caught up in a way with the national bit that they fail to really focus in a lot on the local bit. And many great councillors or great candidates are going to lose their seat because of that thing, because everyone is looking maybe at the national. But in 45 minutes or so, we will get the exit poll and we'll sort of have an idea as to what it is. So we're on money right here. In 45 minutes, we'll have an idea, because by the time, because um in 45 minutes at 10 o'clock, we'll get the exit polls. Yeah, and see how it goes.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see. But you see, we just have to. We have to think. We have to, as a people, as a nation within a nation, as a community within a greater community. Um, we have to really begin to think now and to act. We are our greatest enemy. And many times, Sylbourne, I'm sure you have said this even
Mhm.
before I even joined with you on these shows. I'm sure you have said it, that many times, in as much as it sounds, you know, biased in a way, well, bias is not the right word. I don't want to say the word that I want to say, but
Yes.
um, the 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 white element just sits back and looks at us destroy ourselves.
Mm. Mm.
And I think that's the sad part of it. That they sit back, they look and see how we destroy ourselves, and they do nothing to help us until we are destroyed. Then they come in
As a savior.
as the savior. Then they come in with their programs. How
Mm.
many programs? Now I do know that we've got some brilliant minds out there. There's some
Yes.
brilliant black men, brilliant black women who are out there, who
Mm.
think of initiatives that needs to be done. They put them in, they formulate them. They then go back to these guys in power. They ask for funding and they give them funding, but they don't go anywhere. But how many other programs do they make, bring into our communities, and they're off, mate. It's off
Mhm.
like a flash. Then they get us to come in to run the things. Now, and it may sound negative or defeatism or whatever you want to say, but I think we've got to begin now to make. How long have we been in this country? How long has a black man been in this community? And when I say this community, in the UK, and we are still no better off or we haven't gotten anywhere.
So is there the need for political representation more then?
Listen, we need more black people. How many black men or women are in the Conservative Party? I'm just asking. Do you know?
Are you talking members, or are you talking office, you're talking MPs?
Well, um, well, it could be MPs, it could be local authority level or out there. How many? Because well, I don't really. If you have the figures, that's good. But I'm not really
Yeah.
asking.
I don't have the figures, but it's worth inquiry, yes.
Right. How many black men or black men and women are in the Labour Party, whether in at the top, at the local level, or on the lower rung? How many? How many in the Liberal Democrat at whatever level?
Yeah.
All right. Now the point is this: that when you look at other ethnicities,
Mm.
they spread themselves across the board. They don't. It doesn't. To me, it looks as if they don't matter. It doesn't matter to
Party.
them.
They just want a position. They just
They just
position
want to
themselves.
get in there. They just get in there. Because when you look, you go to Birmingham. You go to Birmingham City Council and look in the chambers when they meet, or look in the borough where you are. How many black? How many Asian? How many of other ethnicities are there? In comparison, who's the most there? Who is in there the most?
So therefore, what you're saying is that the strategy which is being used, like with Sadiq Khan, who is the mayor of London, Sajid Javid, who is the not Minister of Health, Rishi
Right, Sunak.
Sunak, Sunak, who is the minister, the chancellor.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
all positioned.
Now, I'm saying here, my brother. All I'm
Mm.
saying here is, where are we? I remember back, probably no, it was more than 10 years back. It's got to be more than 10 years.
Yeah.
Remember when I told you I was running for Conservative council in
Yes.
Wolverhampton,
Yes.
right? I was running for Conservative councillor, and I was up against the council lead in Wolverhampton.
Mm.
And you know what my black brothers and sisters were saying to me?
You're a traitor. You're a sellout.
They were saying to me, right, that, oh, they're pleased with me that I'm running, but I'm running from the wrong party.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, brothers, what you want your sons and your daughters to excel. We all want our sons and daughters to excel. But what kind of comment then when they do run, when they do become involved in the affairs of wherever they are? You're telling them that they're running in the wrong party. I mean,
Yeah.
what's so right about Labour?
Yeah.
Huh?
It is something that we do miss within the black community, I must say, because I did get that. I ran before, and I did get that a couple of times. Sylbourne, you can just, why don't you join the Labour Party? They'll give you a safe seat and you just catapult. And I'm saying, if you walk in that way and everybody's one sided, you're going to be walking with a limp. And I believe it's a strategy that needs to be adopted, and we've got to be thinking, shoot, But anyway, I guess we'll hear in a few hours or so as to what the election is and what sort of reading. I sense what is going to happen. What I sense is going to happen is that the turnout is going to be very low, and it is going to go more towards uh, conservatives are going to lose some councils, maybe big time, but the turnout is going to be so low that it's like, what was this in a way? And and then the messages, and if that happens, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the prime minister to go. That's what the parties and the conservative are going to want to do, to get and send a message for him to go. That is what I sense will happen. Or you know, people will just don't turn out and then nothing change. But I think there's going to be something of that nature there later, and we'll see. You know,
Yeah,
the
I mean, yeah. I really think that we as a black community, up and down the United Kingdom or in
mm,
England, we need to do a redress. We need to look at what's going on here, and especially our black leaders. We've got some exceptional black leaders in our both religiously as well as
yeah,
politically and in the community. We've
yeah,
got some outstanding leaders, but we need to put, or we need, you need, I'm going to say you as leaders, you need to speak to power. You need to. Don't cozy up to them. They need to be held to account because they're getting away with too many things, and we are not able to do anything
yes,
to bring them to book.
yes. Well, it's a serious issue, but as you know, one of the latest thing which has happened today now is the interest rate hike. Yeah,
Well, again, I feel, I mean, my heart really goes out to the the residents and the citizens of this country, never mind the world. But we're not talking about the world, we're talking about UK now. Because the whole world really right now is reeling like, from, not like, is reeling from the likes of the war and what's happening, and with
Mm.
the oil and with the food shortages because of the raw materials that is being made, and felt at this time.
Mm. Mm.
Now, look what happened in the past month, Sylbourne. Name them. One is the electricity bill is going up. The heating bills for gas is going to go up. The petrol, gas, not the petrol, the diesel and and the unleaded fuels are going up.
Yes.
Food is going up.
Mm.
Right now, interest rates are going up.
Mm.
Council tax is going up.
Well, it's not going up. It has gone up.
Well, that's what. Well, yes, it have.
Because
All of these things have
I've,
gone up. They've
yes,
already
yes,
gone up already. But I'm
yes.
just saying that it's going to go up. And
Mm.
furthermore, in October, right, we've been warned from the beginning of before the year begun. In actual fact, even before the war started on the 24th of February of this year, we were told that the electricity and the gas is going up in April, and it will be going up in October 2022. So it's not even the war. The war has just exacerbated the problem even more. But it
Mm.
was before the war started that we were being told that all of these things are going up. Now, on top of that, Sylbourne, I'll let you
Mm.
talk soon. It's your show.
Yeah, no, no, no. Keep talking. Yeah.
Now, it's interest rates.
Yes.
Mortgages are going to go up.
Yes.
Rent has gone up because there are
Yeah.
some people who have complained that they received an increase from their landlord and they don't know how they're going to pay it.
Yes.
Now, Sylbourne, how on that is why Boris needs to be taken to account, and we're sitting down here debating as if everything is okay. It's
Yeah.
not okay because there's people out there right now that before the interest rates went up, they were already voicing, are they going to
Difficulties.
have to either pay the bill or keep their children at home, or pay the bill and not able to feed their child. It's real situations like these, Silborn.
Yes. Yes. No, no. You're very right. You're very right because at one point, even with the petrol, everyone was saying that because of Putin, the petrol has increased. But then Shell and BP has just made some massive, powerful profit, 7 billion quarter.
Boy, I tell you, I mean,
And
I
what compounded is whereby the government is actually saying they don't want to do a windfall tax and put that back because these companies won't be able to invest with alternate. No, no, I must say they do take us for idiots, and they do take us for idiots big time, based on what
no,
I'm actually seeing, Gary.
we need we that is why I'm saying that the citizens of this country needs to send a clear and distinct message back to government. And this is the only way now at this time to send that signal back to Whitehall. Because unless this country, the citizens, send that through, then they're just going to take it for granted that we're okay with it, and it's not okay. Let me let me make this one thing, or make this
I'm
one
listening.
point.
Mm.
How could, and I just thought it was crass. I think it was very disingenuous, if that's the word I can use, and very very not caring when an
Yes,
MP, a conservative MP,
yes,
makes a statement of this magnitude to say, well, the shoppers must buy cheap food. So hold on. We must buy cheap food, but him can afford to buy good food. Is that what he's saying to his constituents? Is that what he's saying?
yes,
Is that the message that Boris and the government wants to send to the citizens of this country, that we must not buy food that we believe is wholesome for us, but we must buy cheap food. When he when he says cheap food, what is he really saying to this country?
Yeah. You see, you see, a lot of people are not living in the real world. Or put it this way, they are living in their world. They may consider that world to be their world, which is the real world. But a lot of people are not living in the majority of the real world. And that is something which we are seeing reflecting, because if I just read here, the Bank of England has warned the UK faces a sharp economic slowdown. As a matter of fact, that they're talking about that there's a potential recession. This here, as it raises interest rates to try to stem the pace of rising prices. Raise rose to 1% from 0.75% of the highest level since 2009. Inflation, at which price rise is at a 30-year high and set to hit 10% by the autumn as Ukraine war drives up fuel and energy prices. There we go again. Ukraine. The funny thing about Ukraine, and this is what disturbing really, is that they keep saying the Ukraine war is creating this problem. Yet at the same time, they are fueling it, right?
Hmm.
British government is fueling it by sending in money, not money, weapons to Zelensky. America is sending in money, i.e., through weapons to Zelensky. And what they're doing actually is fueling this thing to continue. Russia has actually shut down Bulgaria and Poland and saying everybody's got to pay them in rubles, right? And so therefore, all these, what should I call it? What's the word I call it? Sanctions is not affecting Russia or Putin. It's affecting you and me, Gary. We are the ones it is affecting.
I'm,
And it beggars believe at this time, we spoke about this many times before, but it is still there as to the level of leadership and thinking process that allow this to happen. And as rightly as you said, the government need to get a message, because the greatest injustice now to people is a high rate of inflation where people cannot live a simple basic life because their salaries and their wages are remaining the same and everything else is going up high.
are we really, many of our leaders, put it this way now, many of our leaders will say it's unfair for the statements that we have made, that probably I have made, to say, well, nothing is really happening. Um, because they may say, well, we do meet with them on a weekly basis, on a bi-weekly, on a monthly basis. We are tackling things. Okay, fine. That may be done, but we're not hearing about these things. And in effect, what is really being felt by us, because we are a part of the community and we also are hearing from the community, we're not seeing these things. We're not feeling whatever they may be doing. We're not being
Yeah.
even told that they're meeting. I don't know if they're meeting. I'm not saying that they're not, but I don't know if they are. Now, I'm not saying I want to be a part of those meetings. I don't want any more responsibility than what I have right now.
No,
I
but
can
maybe,
have,
but maybe you need to be there, because if you're saying that they are not affecting and they're not progressing properly,
no.
maybe you need to be
Listen,
there.
listen. The best I have found out in my brief life, right? And I'm 59 years old. I'm 60 this year,
I
right?
thought you
I
were
have found
25,
out.
guy. You shouldn't lie. You're a
25.
minister.
Well, if
You're a minister. You shouldn't lie. I thought you were 29 or 27.
no, but the thing about, I have found out as a minister, as a minister of the gospel, right?
Yeah,
And I'm proud to know that I'm in an organization that I'm proud to be a part of, and I will do my ever best. But at the same time, I'm saying that I don't think I would ever again want to. I wouldn't want right now to run for
political
local
office.
government. Yeah, I don't know if I would. The reason being is because I think what I can say and do now, I can do it and say it now without having to look behind my back and have a whip, a party whip
Yeah,
behind me saying, You need
But
to stay in line. You need to, because that is what a party whip is for, isn't it? It's to keep
yes,
everybody in line, right?
yes,
I believe that right now, right, given the platform that I have right now, and if anybody wants to listen to me, put me in the right place. I I and all my ministerial colleagues out there that feels that they need that and are doing effective work in their community, right? They have more power than the MP. They have more power than a local councillor, right? We just need not only to be saying things within the four walls on a Sunday, and not only voicing off here, even though this is a very good platform, Sylbourne, and I'm hoping and I'm really hoping and I'm praying really that this platform, what you have here, is reaching out not only over the Atlantic and the English Channel and all of that. I'm hoping that it gives the maximum desired effect in
yes,
this country for the leaders and the powers that be to take note that there are people in in this here United Kingdom that are not stupid, neither are we silly, but we are very much aware of what's going on, and that we will speak
mm,
and we will voice what's wrong, and we're not afraid because we have the power.
yes, yes. You're right. You're right about that. We do have the power, and people need to recognize that they do have the power, and the power doesn't just exist every 4 years or every 5 years. Power
No.
exists whereby people can recall MPs, people can actually petition. You see those persons that go out and they tape themselves or glue themselves. The 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 what do you call them? The Green Campaign.
Mhm.
But that's power. That's people's power. People power come in different ways, and that is something that we got to recognize and got to understand that we do not have to wait until a 4 year or 5 year, and the government must be lobbied left, right, and center by people, because as far as I'm concerned, really and truly, I don't think the Ukraine is a major crisis now. I think the cost of living is the major crisis than Ukraine. No disrespect to Ukraine. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say, because at the end of the day, starvation and people killing themselves, because guess what? Mental health is shooting up because people cannot afford to pay their rent. I mean, I was listening the other day where a house, a bunch of them in a house, and the landlord actually just raised the bill on them big time. And then they actually all said is, you can't do it. And then he said, okay, I'll evict you. And he can do that, Gary. You got a process, he can do that. Because he's gonna say that, hey, my rent has gone up. No, my mortgage has gone up for the places. So I've got to increase it. My cost of living have gone up.
You're,
And
you're right.
that's a
You're right,
reality.
Siobhan. You're right. I think that we've got to wake up, man. We've got to wake up. There's too many things happening in this country because if you notice, every news item is talking about Ukraine. As you said,
Yes.
my heart goes out to the Ukrainians. My
Of
heart
course.
goes out because I wouldn't like to know that we are in the UK stillborn because it could happen here. Do you know that it could
Yeah.
happen right here, where in a moment's notice, and so many could say, well, nothing that can't happen here, man. It can't happen. This can't happen. That can't happen. Okay, I understand that the circumstances of Ukraine, the country,
Mm.
is right next to Russia, and that's a totally different kettle of fish there. Because even I don't want to make this argument any longer, but just to substantiate what's happening in Ukraine, it could happen in Finland and Sweden because Russia has warned them, don't mess with NATO or you'll be next. That's what Russia is saying because they were part of the Russian Federation back in the Cold War days. So they could do what they're doing to Ukraine in Finland and Sweden. That's why they're now politicking the EU for them to join the EU and join NATO because they see the danger coming. Now the
Yes.
thing about it, if we here in the United Kingdom, all right, you and I, We could be here at work, and by the time we get home, it's bombed. It's bombed out. We're run out. We don't have anywhere to live, and we can say, well, these things not going to happen in the United Kingdom. You're talking too wild. You're talking very widely now, and it'll never happen. Listen, never say never. Never say never.
Well,
This thing,
I mean, Putin recently said, and I can actually share it. Putin really said recent days that hey, he will attack UK. You know, that's what the headline actually said. Why is Russia threatening the UK? What Putin aims at with his threat of nuclear attack over Ukraine war. So, as you rightly say, anything can happen at this time. Anything can happen, and these guys are just playing around. These guys are just playing around. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a viewpoint there. Interest rates going up. Um, you know, but what is the solution? If if the if everything is going up, how do you then deal with your income? How do people get more income in? Or do they reduce, cut off the Netflix, cut off the phones, cut off all of these things which are deemed to be honest, cutting off some of these luxuries?
again, Sylbourne, is wages in real time, is that going up?
That's not going up.
It's not going up. It. How can they do that? You see, to keep inflation down, they can't give people more money. That's
Yes,
what they're trying to do. They're trying to cut down the supply of money.
yes.
So if Joe Bloggs is out there, I really would like to know if there's anybody out there that's listening to at least to say what they're thinking, because what the government, and the thing about it too is that, Lord have mercy, we're talking about the Conservative Party, but I doubt if the Labour Party, if they were in government, if they could do anything any better.
Different. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Don't think so. I really don't
yeah,
think so. The
yeah.
the the, they're trying, as the West Indians would say, they're trying to blind us with science, and the
Mm,
science is they're trying to cut down the flow of money. They're trying to get people to stop spending. That's why they're raising interest rates. That's why things are going up. But the thing about it is that when they restrict money, or when they restrict money, and when they don't put up wages, but at the same time they're increasing household bills, people
mhm.
are suffering. People are, listen. We don't
Yeah.
see anything yet in a Stillborn. I don't know if you could get an economist. I don't know if you know any economists. I love economics, and I used to study a little bit of that when I was studying. But I think what you need to get on one of your shows, Silborn, is an economist to speak to the people, because what this government and what our local governments are doing is, they're prettying things up. It's like you're having a wall, it's
Mhm.
cracked, but what do? They put a wallpaper over it. They make it
Cover the
look
cracks.
good.
Cover the
Right,
cracks.
right. They make
And
it
one
look,
day everything just break up, mash up.
and then we don't know why, because it sound good, it looked good, and so therefore we've just accepted it. But we need people, black community. We need to
Yeah.
we need to really be able to speak. There has to be a black economist out there. There has to be a black businessman
Well,
out there, woman,
we get somebody next week. Get somebody next
who needs to be able to speak to us and say why interest rates, not just now, but to give a principle of why they restrict the money flow and why they print the money. There's too
week.
much money out there. That's what they're
Yeah,
saying now. There's too much money out there. They need to withhold the money supply, but in holding back on that and raising the interest rates, they're also raising
yeah.
the bills, and we can't keep up to it. And there's people out there, black and white, Asian, and all sorts, and are feeling it. They're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
feel it. We don't feel nothing yet, people. I'm telling you. Now,
yes,
I may just be a minister of religion and you think I don't know anything, and probably I don't.
yes, yes, yes.
But the point is that we're going to feel the pinch, believe me. And I want you, whenever you feel it, I want every resident, every black resident in the United Kingdom to contact Seymour Sidiel and to let him know, let him be inundated so that
Yeah.
he can then make representation to the powers that be. Because the Sylbourne Sidiel show is highlighting the problems of society.
Oh no, no, that's serious, Gary. That's serious stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, we all have a responsibility because we got children now, and this is what shoot up the whole fast food thing. The fast food where people starting to eat unhealthy. Children start to eat unhealthy with these fast food chicken, which is not good for the brain, and therefore you wonder the demise. So in a way, it's like it's a cycle, where is this demise of the poor, making them poorer, while the rich are getting richer. Because if we go down the route of a recession, which is pending according to them, people always benefit during this time. During the pandemic, who benefited? Amazon and all these top guys. Look at Tesla. Guy them making so much money. These guys are traveling into space and saying, "Oh, their dream has been realized." Where some poor people are just trying to realize a dream by just having a nice, good, healthy food.
Yeah.
That's their dream.
No,
That's their dream, to have good, healthy food. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to talk my next topic, but I don't think I'm going to talk about that. Was the slap that the hit that Dave Chappell got. You know,
oh,
and when I think about that, you know, I don't know, I don't know. It it it, it it's a black guy that attacked Dave Chappell. You know.
yeah. Again, if it is a black guy, what does that speak about us as black people? Doesn't matter where we are now. I mean, global, global.
Mm. There is it.
I thought it was you for a second. Hey, my man, he's a bitch ass. Get that guy the fuck out of here. We gotta have some fun.
That was Chris Rock who came up to him early and said, "Was that Will Smith that hit you?" You know, and Jamie Foxx came up on the scene as well, and Dave Chappell said, whenever any attack on him, Jamie Foxx will come up with a Jamie around the sheriff hat as well. 'Cause all of them came up to defend him, and I don't know what to say about that except that this guy, they're saying now that it is Will Smith by that attack is now like fueling, persons now starting to attack comedians. And I think we're living in a world now which is so, the tolerance level is so low. People get offended so easily, Gary.
So very easy.
So
I
very
mean,
easily.
yeah, very easy.
Mm.
We're not thick skinned anymore. We're ready to you know to jump at anything. Anybody says anything about Gary Graham, then I'm ready to sue. I'm ready to take them to court for defamation. I mean, you know what is all that?
Yeah. Become we
All
become we become fanky fanky, as they say, fanky fanky and stuff like that. That's the word in Jamaica, fanky fanky. You know. Well, Dave Chappell and those guys, they're okay. They punch up the guy, and the guy arm was looked a bit different when he came out. His arm was somewhere they twisted up or so, So he's got work to do, In America, there's this big thing about the abortion stuff. Um, uh, that's a very tricky one, Gary. That's a very tricky
It
one.
is a tricky. It is a tricky one. It is a tricky one. But again, I am one. I'm not for abortions
Mm,
unless there is medical reasons why, very strong medical reasons why. But the abortion um, is way out of control. It's way out of
Mm,
control. I'm not here to decide, or I don't want to make decisions for a female or for a lady at all, because there may be reasons why they shouldn't carry to full term.
mm.
But the reasons has to be, I believe, substantiated with fact, with reasons.
A friend of mine posted on our page saying that I'm not pro murdering babies. I'm pro Becky, who found out after a 20-week anomaly scan that the infant she had been so excited to bring this world had developed without life sustaining organs. I'm pro Susan, who was sexually assaulted on her way home from work, only to come to the horrific realization that her assailant planted his seed in her when she got a positive pregnancy test result a month later. I'm pro Teresa, who hemorrhaged due to a placental abruption. I'm pro Brittany. So they're using a lot of examples there of cases. But somebody pointed out very fundamentally that all the persons who are anti-abort or are pro-abortion, they are alive. They're alive.
there's
They're alive.
there's there's no nothing.
All the persons. Well, I leave America to sort out their thing. I mean, I believe that leak was strategic in a way. You know, the leak.
It was, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the leak was set in a way to get the ball rolling and to see what happens, because this particular case, what it says, it's on Monday night. Draft ruling from the top court in the U.S. was published by Politico. The ruling penned by conservative Justice Samuel Alito potentially overruled landmark 1973 abortion ruling Roe and Wade, calling the precedent egregiously wrong. Without Roe, a nationwide guarantee to abortion access, states will be able to settle their own abortion laws, including outright bans. And I saw Kamala Harris spitting fire, and she was just saying, "This can't be," and ray, ray, ray. And I thought about it for a second. I said, as a vice president, shouldn't you sort of take a position, of not taking too much of a position in a way? But I guess that's America, Gary. That's another big thing here, and
It is.
the
It
sensitive area.
is.
Yeah. So anyway, Gary, listen. Um, we had a good week. This Sunday night, I think you're frozen, Gary. I don't know. You look like you're frozen there. Um, this Sunday night, I have Mr. Stanberry. We mentioned him the other day. Um, he wrote this book called "How Trade Liberalization Affects a Sugar-Dependent Community in Jamaica: Global Action, Local Impact." There was a launch on April the 26th at the Jamaica High Commission. I'm going to have an interview with him this Sunday night at 9 p.m. on the Sylbourne Show, the late one, where he's going to talk about this whole thing, whereby, of recent days, we are talking about Jamaica was planning to import and thinking about import foreign workers. And to import foreign workers, that means to say there's an issue regarding employment viability in Jamaica, persons who are skilled. So this might fall straight into it. So that's a book there, How Trade Liberalization Affects a Sugar-Dependent Community in Jamaica, this Sunday night at 9 p.m. And I'll put it up more. So I'm going to interview with him to talk about that this Sunday night. Yep. Okay. Oh, and then another. Let me take that away. Another thing as well. You remember that family who got killed in Gary? Gary, I think you're frozen. I think you're frozen, Gary. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, yeah. The family last week, which we spoke about, was murdered. There is actually a GoFundMe. There was a nine night which took place on the 3rd, and there's a GoFundMe which has been set up. I'm going to, if I can find the details of the GoFundMe and put it on my page to support the family, the 4 family members who died last week. who were killed by this crazy guy, you know. So that's a bit. Sorry, Gary, I couldn't hear from you for a bit, so I just was talking about the family members who got killed recently. That there's a GoFundMe out there. Yeah. Okay. Gary, I think we lost you a bit. So I'm gonna sign off. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I want to thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much tonight. Those on Facebook, those on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe to the Sylbourne Show, and as well, like and share. And Saturday night talk and sip. Looking forward to that. And Sunday night, 9 p.m. with Donovan Stanbury, um, with a discussion on this book, How Trade Liberalization Affects a Sugar Dependent Community in Jamaica. That is this Sunday night with Donovan Stanbury. Okay? Have a good night. God bless you and peace out. Bye bye.